Hi everyone, my name is Melanie B and welcome to BBZ Studios. Today I have a gentleman with me who is going to introduce himself to you and to tell you about his new controversial book.
My name's Owen Williams, alias Element OG. For those of you that don't know me, I'm an artist, a writer, an author, a poet, and I've been writing for a few years now, and I've managed to finally put my first book out, which has somewhat been somewhat controversial, but here today to answer any questions and to put a lot of questions and answers to bed.
Okay, well, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And the book is Through the Eyes of a Child to the Life of a Man. So this is Element OG's brand new book. So, I have a few questions for you. I just want to kind of know about you, what you've done in your life, and mostly what inspired you to write this book.
I wrote the book based on the basis of I just wanted to try and inspire other people that had experienced trauma or abuse or just anything on that kind of level, and was finding difficulty to speak out about it, or feeling as if they didn't think no one was going to listen to them or believe them. So mostly my book is just based around inspiring people to one, don't give up on your dreams and your aspirations and stuff, and two, to don't keep things in, and find a way of letting them out, whether it be creatively. In my sense, it was creative writing my book, but you have other people that are creative, as in graffiti,
different forms of creativity.
different form of creativity, drawing, just loads of different ways. And in my way, fortunate for me, it was writing, and that helped me.
How did you come up with the title, which is a beautiful title, by the way? How did you come up with that?
Through the Eyes of a Child, I think it named itself. I mean, because I was making notes from probably a year or two before I'd actually put the book together. Okay. So it was going back into the mind of a child is what I'd had to do in order to bring this to fruition, and then follow on from my life as a man, which I am now, to show what's happened since the child traumas and the stuff. So I think it just come together itself. It's the perfect symbol. And to be fair, I had it the other way around, or somewhat in between, but then my uncle, my uncle Dennis Berry, he kind of gave me the final imprint on the name, and he kind of looked around it and shaved around it, and then we went with that, which made a lot more sense.
Okay. So this is your first book. I know that you are a musician. Would you say that your music influenced you in any way with writing this book?
Oh yeah, surely. If anyone that doesn't listen to my music, obviously my music, it all surrounds everything I do. So it's almost like a book. My music is, but it's just in the bar form. Okay. So it's 16 bars of pain. Okay. But with a book, it's much more continuous, isn't it? So it's a bit different in the format way. But I think writing music has helped me a lot to write my book, because it's just about myself. My music's about myself, and so is my book. So in that sense, I kind of found it a bit more easier to do. Yeah, that was my passion.
Okay. Was there any point within your writing journey where you found it really difficult? Were there certain parts of the book that were more difficult to write than the others, so to speak?
Yeah, I'd say reliving a lot of the traumas that I've wrote about in the book. I think that was hard to kind of write it and put it down and be happy with it, and then knowing that everybody else is going to know what's happened to you. Yeah. I think that can kind of make you feel a little bit like, ooh, I'm vulnerable here.
Yeah, I was going to say, opening up yourself.
I'm giving myself to the public, and so you can kind of you're weighing up your options, but at the same time, I feel like saying the truth will set you free.
Of course.
So I feel as if I've got to stay true to myself, and in the end, that's what I've ended up doing.
That sounds like part of your passion. Is that a part of your passion? Being truthful to yourself and, being realistic with what you've gone through in order to get through some of the challenges that you face?
Yeah, because it's my truth.
Yes.
So, like, nobody can't take it away from me.
Yeah.
So if I say this happened, nobody else can say it didn't.
Yes.
Do you see what I'm saying? Because that's not my truth.
Yes.
And this is another thing with the book, and that it's just my truth.
Okay.
It's not a book to slag anybody off or to point the finger at people. It just so happens that the book is controversial itself because of the experiences, what I've gone through in the book. So people will be looking at it like, whoa,
yes,
you went through this. Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm still here to tell the tale. So I think it's more on that line, to be fair in anything.
Well, the point is, I've actually read this book. It's a really, really brilliant read. It's a raw, truthful insight of Element OG. I just wanted to discuss the part in regards to your family. How are your family? How have they been since the book has been released? And did you discuss it with them before the book was released? Because some of it is about what's gone on with your family.
Good question. Before I released the book, I made it clear to family that I was releasing a book. But sometimes you speak to family and you tell them something, or you tell people something, and they just look at you and go, "No, whatever. You ain't got no book coming out. What are you talking about you writing a book?" So it was kind of on that level,
of course.
Because you know what they're saying, it like no one actually takes you serious until you're in the headlights, and then everyone wants to stand next to you and make out they was there from the get-go.
Yes,
but
of course.
I've made people know from the get-go that I write music, so my family was aware of what kind of artist I am, but I just don't think they understood the in-depth stuff. Plus, one thing that I feel like probably is a bit of a shock to families, how much they don't realise you remember when you were a child.
Yes.
See, I'm a grown-up now, and I've spoke about things that happened when I was 13 and 14.
So they don't believe that you remembered some of it, or a lot of it, I should say.
The shock of somebody remembering word for word and in detail what's actually happened, I think that's more of a shock for some of them to realise. But most of my family are cool with my book anyway. They're happy with me trying to do something good for myself, for my life, at the expense of making myself vulnerable and say things. Yeah, I guess. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be myself if I had to write it and change things just to suit a narrative. So I feel better that it's out in my words rather than anybody else.
But I think that what I've found from the book is obviously getting to know you a little bit beforehand, but your personality comes through the book, and I think that helps for people to be able to relate to what you're writing, because there's a lot of us as Black, Caribbean, Jamaican, whatever parentage we're coming from, who have gone through traumas that we don't share, we don't put out there. So, I felt really intrigued by your book, and I felt that you were really brave to put yourself out there and talk about things that we don't talk about very often. So well done for that, definitely. Definitely. I really felt that was something that I wanted to share with you today. I don't know if it's okay for me to read a little bit. Is that okay?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, that's fine.
So there was a particular part about respect in chapter 3. I'll just read a little bit. I started growing up, and I realised that I wanted to work. I just wanted to do something with my spare time that I had. I wanted to put my energy into something because I had a lot. And one day when I was taking out the bins at my nan's, my auntie's boyfriend, who we classed as Uncle Roo, had arrived at my nan's. He just passed by most mornings. If he saw my granddad's car outside, and he often fixed things that needed fixing in the house, he literally could do it all: wallpaper, plaster, flooring, fit gas, cookers, you name it. He was the man. And you spoke about your Uncle Roo quite a lot in this chapter, and how much respect you had for him, how your auntie supported you through all of the challenges you were going through, which was really nice and beautiful that you touched on that. And I can imagine that they feel really, great that they supported you in your life, and then you put it in your book. And I thought that was an important point to make.
Yeah, because that was at a time where I hadn't done any work before. We was going through the transformation of understanding that we've got no mom. So like that then made me grow up a little bit more into like what to expect from kind of life. Going with him on like just gas fitting and just the experience, like the timekeeping you learn professionalism, just how to conduct yourself, going into people's houses, you learn, the tools, what to use. But I didn't want to be a gas fitter. It was the fact that it was the routine
and the experience
of getting me up at a time, because this is what the real world requires from you, innit? So I was very grateful for that, because after that it kind of set me on my way to want to get some work, and I was much more prepared in a sense, because I had that experience behind me. So I'll always thank my granddad for putting me in that position, but I always have respect for like my Uncle Ruse for giving me my first experience in work.
It's really good.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it kind of drove me on from there.
Okay, well, you just mentioned something really poignant within your story in regards to your mum. Is that something you want to share with us today, some of the experience about your mum?
From what I remember, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So your mum was home with you. Do you want to start from there and go as far as you need to, or you can?
I say, I grew up, my remembrance of my mum is like, I don't know, like, I would only go to my mum. School, come home, mum. We'd smell the cooking, mum's cooking. I want to talk to her about a girl, I'm talking to my mum. I want to talk to her about school, I could talk to my mum. Anything, I could talk to my mum. She was always that person.
Yeah.
And like, I think, just me personally, I feel like I was affected the most, because when my mum used to go like shopping and stuff, she'd be like, oh, do you want to come with me? I'd be like, yeah, and all the other brothers and sisters would stay in the house.
Okay.
So I kind of developed that routine, that get up and go with mum, carry the shopping bags from Saltley to town, get all the way back. And then when mum used to go to work, when I was about 13, she'd be like, oh, can you make an apple crumble when I'm finished? Because she used to love the way I made apple crumble and that, but at the same time she was nurturing me for later life.
Yes, of course.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't realise the washing up, the cooking, the cleaning.
Even
though I was doing it at 13, she was nurturing me to get prepared, because as you see now, I look at my life, I have to have that in my life. So it kind of helped me. But she was like a go-to person. My mum's very placid, very humble, very lovely, beautiful lady. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think I ever found myself when she left like the family home. I think it's like drastic effects on me. I can only speak for myself.
Of course.
Because it's almost like your best friend's gone missing, or the person you confide in is no longer available.
Yes.
The little things, like just the preparing stuff she used to do for us. She used to come watch me play football after school when I was in the football team and stuff like that, and engage more with my teachers and find out about how well I'm doing and stuff. Whereas all that was gone. So I lost not just a friend, I lost like a heart, I kind of lost my way.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? I was a bit envious of people with mums.
Yes.
Not in a bad way, but I was just naturally envious. Like, I'd go to my friend's house and their mum, they're doing their dinner and wash their clothes and brought their clothes up, and your nan's coming over, we're going here, and everything comes through your mum, innit? And that. So I kind of lost that.
There was pillar in your life, so to speak.
Yeah. So we kind of that kind of affected me in a bad way, where I feel like I was more angry at the world.
Of course.
And didn't have give much thought to anything.
Just kind of going through life, kind of
feeling sorry for yourself. Now I can say that because I'm older, but at the time when I was 13, 14, I wasn't feeling sorry for myself. I was actually going through the emotions. It's like we woke up and you're not here.
You're not here. And also, as a young boy, how do you process those emotions? You don't even know how to process emotions anyway, and you don't expect for your mum not to be there. So,
and when you haven't got the answers to things, majority of the time in life, when you don't have the answers to things, you make the answers up yourself.
Definitely.
Or you try and put some kind of concept together where you almost got the answer.
Of course.
So like that's, I feel like I did that a lot in my life as well. So it's always just affected by the whole scenario in more ways than one.
Because obviously, as you said, no answers. What do you do next? The person that's there to kind of guide you for the next step he's no longer there. So then it's almost like you have to guide yourself in a sense.
Yeah, it's like society can kind of like mess you up in that sense as well, because you know, like we could all follow the same way. Like society would show us something like so many people have no moms, so many people have no dads. So in the form of society, we'll be like, oh, it's all right, I ain't got my dad with me, or your other friend might not live with their dad, or might not live with their mum. So society kind of shows us, isn't it, like, oh, get on with it, this is the norm. But in reality, it's not really the norm, is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, but we have to cope with whatever it is that's thrown us at the time. So, yeah.
And then there's obviously a part in your book. Obviously, you went through school. I know there was a part where you spoke about going into working for a business where you did sales.
Yeah.
And you seem to do very, very well in that arena. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, I didn't get the qualification, the GCSEs in school, because my dad decided to take me out of school on my last year. So obviously, this is the times when we had no mum around. So
Dad was making all the decisions.
Like full control over our parental responsibilities and stuff. So my dad decided to take me out of school in my last year when I was a quite popular kid. I was in the football team, but because my twin had been expelled and the school wouldn't take him back under no circumstances, he just felt like it was, you know, well, if they're not having you, they're not having you. But I don't think he'd give it much thought to think about the fact that he was affecting my education. But I was always a kid that liked to do my work. I wasn't like now people look at me and think, oh, I bet he was a nightmare. No, I wasn't. I was in set 1 for English, maths. It was like all top sets. I was in the football team, and you can't be in the football team if you're doing messing around, your behaviour and stuff. So on all the trips, it was quite popular with like everybody in the school. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I feel like I was robbed of like that last year, you know.
Kind of like the most important year.
Yeah, like we just spent 5-6 years together in form in school, and now I can't end it and celebrate with everyone and go on to the next step, innit? It's just like, look, and then I ended up doing like a YTS. Them times, if anybody don't know what YTS is, it's a youth training scheme where you do like work and you get paid £50 every week, but you go to the college 1 day a week, you go to the placement. And I'd saved up I think I'd saved up about £4,000 pounds. And my dad's partner at the time, who I referred to in the book, she took the money out of my bank. You know what I mean? I didn't really have much say over my life, and I didn't really feel as if they were looking out for my future. You know what I mean? Like, you know, me personally, I have trust funds for my kids. So for me to go and dip in them and take them, that makes you wet. To me personally, that's just me personally. If I did that, that's waste moves. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know, like,
because it's there for a reason.
The whole idea of me putting money away for them is for me to have their futures good. Of course. It's not about me when I get to 60. I've already had my life. It's now for us to sit back and hopefully that your kids have done the right thing. But so to take savings away when you didn't put them there in the first place, when it's a complete stranger, it's not even your mum as well. It's like it could have you feeling bitter. And,
of course.
And then in the end, that resulted into me going outside and forming my own forms of money, which is from robbing people to, you know, selling drugs.
That kind of took you down a different
doing all kinds of things in order to gain some kind of expense to live, because, you know what I mean, we was already up against it with not having a mum. So, you know, it's not an excuse. I'm not happy with,
not at all.
I'm not proud of the jail. Because when I went to jail, it wasn't like the first time. I had no recollection of why I went to jail.
Because that kind of, I read that part of the story where that was something to do with somebody else. That wasn't to do with something you had done. So you kind of was taking on that, you know, sentence on behalf of someone else. That
was first time in jail. Like, my dad decided that he wanted me to be tough. So he was like, look, you know, you've already got your brother on a charge already. So I want you to take this charge, and you're going to go to jail for the first time and experience it. And at these times, I'm frail. Like, because I'm out of like all of they know me, like my family know what I'm like. They know what I'm like deep down, like my dad does. I'm a sensitive person. I wear my heart on my sleeve, so it's like, and I'm not really a fighter.
Yeah.
Like, it might look like I'm a fighter, but I'm not. I'm kind of, out of all my brothers, I'm kind of like the one that's probably sensitive and very upset a lot and stuff, very emotional over certain things.
Yeah.
So him knowing that and putting me in for the first time, it's kind of like, when I think about it now, when I get out of it, hurts, because I think, well, you know I'm like.
Yeah.
So how do you know that I would have survived?
Yeah.
How do you know that? How do you know I was going to make it through?
But do you think it was a case of, as I said, I wouldn't know, but he was thinking in his mind, that'll toughen you up. You know, if you go into that environment, you're going to have to, it's like a sink or swim.
I believe that he just doesn't put, I think with my dad, I don't think he puts much thought into anybody else's feelings. I think everything's his thoughts, his feelings, his way.
Okay.
And if you go against that or challenge it or anything, I think you're automatically wrong, or, you know, like, I think now that we're older, I think that he'd probably make better decisions if he had a chance to re-look at and re-evaluate it again, because he's very much protective over the grandkids that are not his.
Yes.
Well, they are his.
Yeah, but
he's
directly.
much more like, he will now like say, "Oh, I'll leave him."
Yeah.
And I'm looking sometimes like,
thinking, huh?
you say don't tell him off for that. Look, that, you know what I'm trying to say to him, like, years ago, we would have got,
listen,
you know what I mean? I was in the best with lesser things. But now, so I see it in him where I think to myself, well, maybe this is you realising, but the one thing, and it's the one thing that what would have put a bed to it all, and it would have been fine with me, is just be honest with me.
Yes.
Just tell me that you love me. Just tell me that you're sorry.
Yes. That's all you need.
I'm good.
That's it. Yeah.
Because that was perfect.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes.
Of course.
And, you know, for what it's worth, there's people on the earth that's done big mistakes and they've been forgiven.
But I think what it is, a lot of the time with parents, they will not put it down to being a mistake.
No, they won't.
They're just looking at, this was how it is and this is what we had to do and that is that. And they just continue their life until whenever. Which in a way is a shame, because it could build bridges or make great bonds between you and your father or whoever it is. But I think it's probably the way most of our parents were raised, possibly.
Yeah, I feel like in that generation, that's all they know. And so we have to look at the kind of the generation that they grew up in compared to the
different.
times that we're in now. But at the same time, you know right and wrong.
Of course.
And that's the difference in this scenario of mine. This is well, I know that's wrong, so I'm not going to do it. And I know that's right, but you still chose to go the wrong route. We all have a chance and we all have a choice.
Yeah.
And he chose to do that, to implement that kind of abuse to me, to the fact that when I'm this age, I have to still talk about it and still find it hard to deal with. So that must have impacted me, because if it hadn't, I wouldn't be bothered, would I? The fact that it's, do you see what I'm saying? And I've dealt with it. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, like, it doesn't, like, I've dealt with it now. I've put it to bed for my book and stuff like that. But it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't mean that we hush it under the carpet.
No. And it's impacted upon your life. And I think a lot of the time when we're going through challenges or trauma, that is why we find it hard to let go, because we don't deal with it. We don't face it head on. And it seems from the book that that's what you've done. You've actually faced it head on. You've brought it out. You've said things about your family that possibly, you know, they may not like, but it's your truth. And I feel like that's a part of healing, to face your truth. You know what I mean? Obviously, we talked about you going into prison and stuff. So obviously, that was quite a dark time. How do you feel that you coped with that dark time? What did you do to pull yourself through in order to come out the other side?
Well, I did a few things. At first, one of my coping strategies in prison first was getting into the belief of my head that it don't matter how much crying you do, how much moaning you do, you're here until the duration of the time ends. So you gotta take a couple of days to get that to sink in first. And then you kind of just, you know, you're a spare part for a bit, and then you start to navigate and find your way. But what made me find it a bit more easier to do my sentence was the fact that I did a lot of studying.
Okay.
In fact, I did GCSEs in prison.
Okay.
So I got my A-level maths, A-level English in HMP Featherstone.
Okay.
And the good thing about jail is, in one sense, is that when you do finish your certificates and stuff, or when you finish your courses in jail, like your English and maths, they actually send you the certificate to the jail as an OCR.
Okay.
So
you get
the
to
job
get
wouldn't know the difference if you've done it wherever. We all get OCR wherever, do you know what I mean? So that was good. And to this day, I've used that in my life to get me into university, to get me into college. And I feel as if at first I struggled with jail, just the whole surroundings, the whole, you know, mingling with people sleeping in my room, getting used to having somebody in your, I'm at the top, he's on the bottom. Just getting used to the whole environment, getting up at 6 a.m, having to fold your blankets up, have your room clean. Kind of regimented living, so to speak. And to be fair, I think that regiment stayed in me when I left jail for a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Like I really do think I carried that with me when I left jail. Maybe it's part of the discipline process. I mean, I don't know, but maybe that's why they do it, to keep the person in a disciplined way of life. I was kind of angry at myself when I was in jail because, you know, I was like in a place where I didn't want to be. Of course. So it was like, I'd gone there from fault the first time, I'd have been okay. But when you're not at fault and you're being penalised for something, I think it's a lot more harder to accept, in a sense of if you just had a fight and you know got into a pub fight or something up and then an accident's occurred, you can kind of accept some kind of responsibility. But when it's nothing at all to do with you and you can't figure it out, it's like you're already at a lost cause, isn't it? So I feel like that's where I was. But I coped a lot better than the average person because my brother was in jail at the same time. Okay. I managed to like share the same cell, and he'd already been to jail, so he was a bit more clued up on me than me, and I kind of like felt a lot more less anxious knowing that I was sharing a cell with my brother on the wing, rather than just staying with a stranger. That you know what I mean. I'm sceptical of like things like that anyway. I don't. You're not used to it, so like you know what I mean. It's not going to be easy. You know what I mean? So in regards to your brother, you were close, as you'd written in the book beforehand, and obviously sharing the cell and all of that sort of thing, obviously him supporting you. I suppose that, I don't know, how did that help with you two's relationship? Did it bring you closer, or my just twin? The same? Your twin? When was padded up together? Oh God, we're always close. Like, I could bicker with my twin today and tomorrow. I would always love him anyway. I will always love my twin. He can't do no wrong. He can't do no wrong to me. Like if I've got 100 quid and he needed 50, I'll give it him without a second thought. Really that's been part of the problem in my life. Like I'm too want to fix people's problems or want to help too many different people, and in the end they strip you of everything and you're left on the outside, like hang out to dry. You get what I'm saying? So I've learned in my life as I've got older to kind of protect me and don't keep trying to fix everybody's solutions, because you know one thing I learned this, someone told me this years ago, and I've only realised now, you can't help everyone. Do you know why? Sometimes some people, that might be their karma. I hear that. And you jumping in to go see him go give him £200 when him karma was supposed to be, you're not getting on this month, and I come and save you, give you the money. How do I know I've interrupted your karma? And I've seen that play out on many times. So I'm very conscious now about jumping in too much to save other people's situations, because sometimes you don't know if this is just their karma. You get what I'm saying? Like I've had my karmas, you get me, and nobody was there to take me out. I didn't get your karma. Nah, because even the jails, when my dad made me go to jail that time, he didn't visit me. Nah, he didn't visit me, and that hurt me as well. It's like I thought to myself, well, you didn't even come and visit me on the sentence. So that was like, well, did you want me to survive the sentence or what? But these are all things that he would never know.
No, yeah.
Because they sit and marinate in you when you sit in jail.
You got time on your hands.
Wow. And they marinate when you get out, and they still sit with you thinking, well, and then you get kids and you think, I could never leave my son in jail. Definitely. I could never send him to jail first, but they leave him, they don't visit him. That's another.
Or check in on him to see how he's getting on.
What was your what was the whole thing of you? What was you getting out of sending me to jail?
Is it something that you've, since obviously that time has passed, have you been able to have that conversation with your father?
He lives in denial.
Sorry?
He lives in denial.
Oh.
Yeah, he lives in denial.
I didn't hear what you said, but I heard you now. Okay,
he lives
so you
in
can't
denial.
have that conversation.
He lives in denial. And the thing is, he lives in denial, but you know when you talk to someone, you know they know the truth, but they still choose to live in denial.
Yeah.
It's pointless having a conversation with someone because you're almost telling me, I knew it was wrong. I know that was wrong what I've done to you because you don't like the sound of it.
Of course, yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't like the sound of them things.
For you as well, having to, as you said, with him writing the book, reliving that over and over again and then not getting the answers, that's bringing more trauma to yourself.
A lot. Reliving a lot of things that I've tried to put to bed. Because it's quite embarrassing mentioning some of the things in my book on a standpoint of if you're very easily touched with vulnerability, then it's not good to, I shouldn't have put it out. But, you know, there's a lot in there that describes a lot of ordeals that I've gone through. And a lot of people don't survive to write the tales. You never know. Do you get what I'm saying? So I want to be one of these people that just, look, I've gone through this. It might not be the same as you, but if you can relate to it, then understand that. Just keep going, and you can get there. And you know, don't ever let anybody try to bully you or keep you, you know, control you and stuff. And that's what one of the main things was about my book. It's I felt like I had no. Like I was in spirit, body, and physical form, but that was it. The walking and the talking was done by everybody but me, and I was sick of that.
Of course,
you know, like I just wanted my own voice. I wanted to be an individual because as a twin, I got affected in my life by a lot of things between Ramadan, jail, school, wearing the same clothes every day. Like even if we literally had a red t-shirt and a blue t-shirt on, someone had to change.
Oh wow!
That's how much it was.
So you didn't feel like an individual, right? Day
so
to day.
I wanted to be me, and for years I've had to keep living and like be responsible, and then consequences from other people's actions, and then after a bit, there's only so much you can take, innit? Where everybody has their breaking point. Like, I don't want to be responsible for what another grown man is doing. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you gotta stand on your own too and take responsibility for things.
And also, we all are responsible for ourselves.
This is it. So I kind of was like upset with him for that because them things only make me look back and think, well, if you wanted me to go to jail or you wanted to take me out of school, these are your choices. That means you couldn't have wanted good for me. On paper, he might not say that, but if he was writing it all down, that's all you could take from it. There's no way that he wants good for this kid if the stranger was just reading it anyway. Of course. I know he kind of probably meant well, but in his own way. This has just got his own way of doing things.
There was, you know, the chapter in regards to talking about your children, having your children. You had like a very beautiful relationship with the children's mom. You wanted to share with us any other stories?
Lips. Yeah. For those of you that don't know, 23 years ago now, the kid's mom passed away. That's rest in peace, Lippy. And she was a lovely person. She was like, in my book I describe her, she's a beautiful soul. She was you know what, I'll tell you the truth, I connected with her because she had her own stuff that she'd gone through as a child or as a youngster. So we kind of just like connected from sharing like stories of what we've experiences of what we've gone through. From there, one thing led to another, and then we just got fond of each other. But she was a really like how can I put it, very like loud, like me. I'm quite a loud person, very fun to be around. You know, never a dull moment with her. You know, she could brighten your day if you were down, and she always just called me Big Head. So you don't matter even phone her. I could phone her any time, but she phoned me. She'd be like, "What are you doing, Big Head? Big Head, you coming down here? Or Big Head, where's the kids? You get me? Or Big Head, what are you doing?" I'll be like, she'd always call me Big Head. You get me? And I'm like, that's just like, but I always called her Lippy.
Okay.
You get me? That's just like what it was. We just had nicknames for each other. But yeah, when we first got together, there's, you know, we did have, you know, little tiff for tats and that here, but nothing on a major scale. And what you find is, had it not been for people disliking her in her own area, in her own city, in her own street and area where she grew up, she would have been fine.
Yeah.
But you have these people that, when they find out that two people are together, in comes the hatred and the bad mind, phone calls from social services, anonymous phone calls, saying things about her, saying things about me, saying things about this, that and the third. And that's what the problem was, outside people affecting her relationship with her life. Do you know what I mean? And some of us can't deal with all that in one go. You get me, especially when you're young. Obviously, she had a couple of kids. I just come out of jail. You know what I mean? I didn't really have any children, so I wasn't really, you know, hands-on in that experience and that department. So after a bit, we tried to let it work. We just didn't. You know, we just realised that, you know, I've got a lot to sort out myself and but I was working. I got a job because obviously I found out I was having a son. So I came out. She got me tagged to her address. That's how I got out of jail early.
Okay.
So yeah, I was grateful for that. And I remember saying to her, like, "You sure it's going to be alright? You've already got kids there. How's it going to be alright?" I mean, "Oh, you'll be alright now. I mean, it's tough for a while, but I feel like just the peer pressure from like outside people and just you know, like, you know, another thing that I feel like affected it as well was like, you know, like when you got that friend that hasn't got no children, or you got the friend that's got one kid, and you've got four, and they're like, "Oh, my kid's at my mum's. What are you doing? You coming out?" And it's like, why are you even trying to entice someone like that when you already know that you've got different lives? And there's so many people I realise used to try and influence her to be going out and I'd be sitting there going, like, if they were your real friends, right, they'd want to know that you was in the house with the kids, not out trying to get you out every week or trying to get you drunk or trying to get you here and there. And I felt like probably just like some of her surroundings was probably wrong, like all of us in it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And but she was just like a lovely person. You know what I mean? She was just always funny. She just always had something to say. You know, like that. Like she was never a dull moment with her. She always had like something to say. She was a good mom. You know, she was very loving, very likeable person. Very likeable, very chattery. And, you know, it's just a shame in the end that, you know, I don't know, because sometimes I go to the grave and I'm like that, I'll be like, only he was here now. And as I close my eyes long enough, I'm sure I can hear her talking to me. I swear to God, that mouth, I can hear that mouth still talking.
Oh, wow.
But we live through her.
Yes.
Rather than not incorporate her in our life like she's gone, we'll still live through her. So we'll be like, you know, come on, you got your assessments today. You know, mummy will be proud if you've done well. You know, mummy and dad. You know, I never forget to mention things. She won sports day, my daughter did the other day.
Okay.
I was like, oh, your mum looking down. I know that she's going, go on, you got me. So I'm just like, we always kind of try and bring her in a good way. So they always remember in a good light.
And how are the children in response of mum not being here? You know, how do they talk about her?
My daughter's like, she either talks to me or she talks to no one. Even the school like that, we just can't seem to, you know, we'd offer the grieving counselling and my son took it and stuff like that. But with my daughter, she's like, I just want to speak to my dad. Yeah. Like, she's very, very different.
She doesn't feel like she needs that because she's got you to talk to.
She just don't like to talk to no one about her mum. And I mean nobody. Okay. She will only speak to me. Whereas my son, we have tried to introduce grieving counselling to him. He's had it for a while, and that's kind of helped him. But my daughter feels like speaking to a stranger about it. She's like, it's weird. Yeah, she can't do that. She's like, I just feel weird, Dad, and I can only talk to you. She goes, in fact, she actually said to me, Dad, could you let the school know to stop asking me if they want to keep introducing me to different this man who's specialist in this, or this woman, especially, she just doesn't want to engage with them.
And she probably doesn't feel that she needs it because, as you said, she's got you to talk to.
And being young and like worrying about going into school and just a complete stranger sitting with you talk about how do you feel today?
Yeah.
I think it's a bit overwhelming for my daughter, to be fair, but I just respect what she wants, kind of thing, you know what I mean, rather than try and tell her what's best for her, or try and let her tell me what's best for her, and then go around it that way. Because you have to be it's different being a dad of a girl and a boy. Yeah. It's completely different. Like, I probably would have done different things with my life if I just had my son.
The son, yes.
But you know, now I know I've got princesses in the house.
Yes. Yeah.
Got a plait hair.
Yeah.
Got a comb hair. Got a wash.
Of course.
Got a massage scalps. Got to worry about end of the months.
Yes. There's a lot of things.
Got to worry about just loads of things, like how much this needs this, how much she needs that, how much she, and it's like it's different having a girl and a boy. It's like, but she's ever so, like, I don't know what it is. It's like she's just perfect. Do you get what I mean? Like I look at her and I just think she's perfect. And maybe that's bad.
No.
Because of the expectation level and pressure I'm putting on her.
Fathers and daughters.
I'm just like, she can't do no wrong in my eyes. I don't want to.
It'll be a good thing for her.
Yeah, that's my point. And it will burst my bubble one day, because I'll be like, you know, sometimes the school phone me, and I'm like, this look, they'll be like, yes. I said, oh, is Princess all right? She said, yes, Princess. She's been a bit, and I'll be like, oh, right, you don't have to warm it into me, like say,
I don't believe
we know she's a princess all the time, but sometimes
she puts down her crown.
Right, no, she takes the crown off every now and then. You get me?
Oh, wow.
And I just want to go to a bloody amusement ground and just go to one of the roller coasters and start screaming. So I've done it before. I've been to, like, I think I took them to Ford Park, the kids, and I like, you know, like sometimes you feel like that month I had such a hard month. You know, there's just a little bit of, you know, inconsistencies with their behaviours at school and stuff like that. And I remember we went to Adventure Park with the kids, and we get on this big roller coaster, and we get to the top. And as it was getting down, it was like, ah! Everybody on the ride is probably thinking
what is going on?
I'm screaming because the ride's going upside down, but little do they know, I'm going
stressfully.
I'm stressed. So I'm now on this bawling out, But if you really look at me, I'm screaming out because I just want to scream out. You get me? Because the ride is going upside down. No, it's nothing to do with the ride.
It's actually a good idea.
This is a coping mechanism. Get on a roller coaster
and scream.
And just scream. Trust me, you can't make yourself look stupid. Everybody thinks that you're enjoying the ride. It's always.
I might try it. It sounds good. It sounds good.
But in that sense.
Yeah. So, in regards to the writing, is there anything else you want to do? Any more writing that you'd like to do, or anything else that you'd like to do?
Yeah, I'm writing a second book at the moment.
Okay.
It's basically living with a child with learning difficulties, like ADHD and stuff. Because I found on research, when I was looking for stuff to help support me on my son's ADHD, I felt as if it was just like a load of scientific research and a lot of, you know, it wasn't things that had come from people that had actually lived with children and experienced it. So I feel as if my next book will be surrounding them topics. So
it's
like
very important,
in-depth, you know, answers and solutions and methods, just to help parents,
real life ones.
Yeah, and maybe a parent might pick it up and try the methods that I've used with my son. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes we don't always have the answers, man.
Of course.
And we're always looking for answers for something. Do you know what I mean? And then if we don't have the answers, tend to go to the nearest thing. Let's give it us.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it don't always mean it's right. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's the area that I'm challenged at the moment, in a sense of like writing again. But second book probably be out before the end of this year. But at the moment, my book at the moment is like this book at the moment for the eyes of a child's life of mine. It's actually number 3 in the UK. So
Okay, well done, well
when
done.
I first started writing this book, I wanted to change the writing game in a sense, but I didn't think it would be anything near like selling 300 books in 1 month. I mean, for a new author, really.
I think it's about the topic, though. It's the topic, because what you've written about, as I said earlier, it's relatable to many people, and many men are going through, you know, the same journeys you've been through, probably becoming a single father, not expecting it, going into the penal system, and, you know, and no one's talking about it. So that may be the reason that people want to read your book.
You can see how hard it is to give up in the judicial system, you know, because, for instance, like when the kids was like in care for a year, before I'd got them out of care, and basically what happened was, I was going to contact centres, so it was back and forth to contact centres, and then I was going work in between that. So I'd be coming from work, taking days off or finishing work at times to surrounding contact. And then when I get to the contact centre, I'd have like an hour and a half, which basically what it required was 2 people sitting in corners of the room. I'd be in a room with the 2 kids, cooking, playing, cleaning, doing what I'd do as if I was at home, forgetting that forget that there's 2 people in the room noting things down. Well, there was one instant I remembered. I was like literally there, I was having a good contact with the kids, you know, just about to leave. And then my son wrapped himself around my leg, you know, and he's like started to get a bit upset. I think he's only like 3 at the time. And just as I was about to take them out to foster care to cook for them, the little woman who fostered the social worker said, can I have a word with you after? You know, she was just going to give me some like new dates, you know, when the court case was or when the next contact centre was. Basically, like my son had eventually got off my leg and they took him out and he was crying and doors. And they took me into another room and there was like, you know, I was in bits because my son was crying and stuff, and I couldn't contain myself. And there was like that, they just wanted to say to me, if we catch you crying again in the contact centre, then we're going to terminate contact, because it's seen as emotional distress on the kids. So,
I actually read that in the book, and I really got upset there, because I was thinking, what did they expect you to do?
I felt as if they were setting me up to fall. Like, don't cry. Wow. My son's there crying, he's going to be strangers, and I can't be upset because I just felt from there, I was like, I don't know, I was almost going to stop, because I just felt like, what do you expect me to do? Like, you know what I mean? So I felt as if there was a lot of hurdles put in place. Plus I had to do, I did a psychology test and I did psychiatric tests, which cost them £7,000.
Yeah,
I remember speaking to the psychiatrist and she told me, but I didn't need a psychiatry test or psychology test, so I just felt like it was a waste of money. But I passed them.
It's a procedure, but at the end of the day, when you're going through it, I can imagine, you know, when I read it, I was thinking, how did you manage? But you seem to just kind of focus on, this is what I need to do to get my children home. And that came through in the book, which I thought was really commendable. You know, the fact that you did that, and the end goal was to get your children home. So, you know what, well done for that, definitely.
Yeah, in between that, just sleepless nights, feeling like you'd let them down, feeling like you'd let your family down. You know, I didn't want to face no one. Yes. I didn't want to be outside. I just didn't want to go around nobody. I didn't want to speak to no one. It had drastic effects on me, the kids going into care. Yeah, it was, I've never woke up with a pain right the way down one side of my body, like I'm paralysed. And, you know, you're talking not washing for 5-6 days.
Kind of gone to your heart, you know?
Not cleaning up. Literally lying in the same position that you're in, where you found yourself. You know, and I think that's depression.
Of course.
I think at the time you don't realise, but when you look back, like, that's mental health. That's depression, that's stress. When you don't even want to go and bathe.
And look after yourself.
Change your clothes. or you don't want to do nothing with yourself, and you just feel like you're alive, but you're not.
Yeah.
Everything else is dead.
Yeah.
But
it's a natural
your
reaction
spirit,
because
yeah.
your children have been taken from you. You know, I can
And
imagine.
there was no way of finding a way of coping.
Yeah.
So the only
That
way I
was the
could
way.
cope was to hide.
Yeah.
Because of the embarrassment and the shame and the letdown, and I was just scared as well, I suppose, and I didn't really know what to expect. And then everyone was saying, "Oh, you've been to jail. You're not going to get the kids.
Oh, wow. So
You've got a bad reputation. Your family's this, your that." And I jumped through them hurdles and moved away. Did so many daddy courses, met so many single dads. And there was time I was in Alton, and I used to feel sorry for myself a lot with this situation until I met other dads
going through.
Probably some dads I've met, they'd lost their partner.
Okay.
These dads I hadn't lost my partner. They'd lost their partner, they'd left them with 3 kids. Oh, wow. Manala told me, he struggles to do the hair in the morning, so just use the vacuum. Get his daughter's ponytail up and that. So we'd go to dad groups to get little help and little tips off different people. And I felt like, not to sound bad, but because I was sitting amongst people that was experienced similar to me or same, I kind of felt like I'd fitted in.
Yeah.
And it sounds mad. I wasn't rejoicing in what they'd gone through, but I just felt like, thank you. I found a level of the earth that I can sit on and be all right with these people, because we're all experiencing the same thing. Felt like when I was in my real world, so to speak, I didn't think as if I belonged in society, because I feel as if I'd let a lot of stuff let me down. You get me? I'd let myself down. So it took a lot of rebuilding, a lot of focus, a lot of changing my surroundings. Grateful for friends. Like, really grateful for friends. In fact, the person that helped me the most was a friend. Yes. And I never knew her at first. Yeah.
And you did. You put her in the book.
Yeah,
as well.
I put her in the book, and and that helped me a lot to be able to go to contact centres, just have a roof over your head. And I think now, when I look at the whole bigger picture in life, I think one of the best things you can have in life is stability and knowledge.
Good friends.
And I think being stable
within yourself.
In yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, and having knowledge just about things.
And I think also, if you don't have the knowledge, having the tenacity and the boldness to ask questions, because we're only human, and sometimes we don't know. So if I don't know you, I ask you, or you ask me, and that can help us to continue on the journey. Okay, so in conclusion, is there anything you want to share? Anything you want to share with the listeners and the viewers today?
In conclusion, you know what? I just wanted to say, thanks for people that were, that supported the book, because, for example, when I first put the book out, I didn't expect that many people to reciprocate it like that, or even take it in how they did. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm just grateful for that many people that's bought it, because the amount of inboxes I get from people now talking about, you're such an inspiration. Yes. Oh, well done for speaking out. Yeah. You know what? I can speak out now. Yes. I had the same experience as you. I didn't know where to start. So for just that alone, just that alone means to me that it was meant to have its purpose in life. We put the book out, because it's already helped more than one person, and in the end, as long as it helps one, that's all what matters. To go on to other people. And I was just nominated for MBCC award. Well done. So while this is going on, I'll be nominated. We'll see how it goes. But again, I'm grateful, I'm appreciative, but I suppose there's probably people in the categories that probably deserve it better than me. I'm not really, these things don't mould who I am.
Because that's not the reasoning for it, but these they're kind of attached to it.
Yeah, they're the accolades and the celebrations and the awards you get for the work you do, but it doesn't make me who I am.
You, yes,
it doesn't. But I'm grateful for it, and I'm, I'm just to be in the category, and just to be amongst the other great people that are nominated, the candidates and that. I didn't even know that I would be noticed, let alone be put up there.
But you know what it is? It's like from what I'm hearing, it's a form of humility, and it's good to be humble, but in the same time, embrace it, because you stepped out in faith, you wrote down what's happened in your life, and that should be commended, because, as I said, it's not easy, and not everybody could do that. So take it on board, embrace it, and enjoy it.
When you read my book, you said you read the book.
Yes.
What did you take the very first time when is there any moments in there where you thought, or was it just a straight read and you thought, oh, this is nice? So did some things open your eyes, or did you have to go, no? You don't have to touch on them. But
No. I think for me, the whole book touched me, because I've gone through things in my life, and I write, but I write poetry, so I write it in a different way. So when I read your book, I just thought, this gentleman is brave. He wrote the truth. The stuff that we don't talk about, the stuff that people don't want to share, you have put in this book. And I felt proud, considering I didn't know you before now. I really felt proud. I thought, I really feel proud of this young man, and I'm glad that you made the step to write this book, and I can see big things for you.
Thank you. Definitely. Thank you. Well, I've had a lot of contact from people that want to do this, that, and the third with my book. But I own my book anyway. I own all the rights, so that's a good thing, because now that there's so much attention surrounding the book, there's so many people wanting to do this and that and the third. It's just about being sensible and doing what I want for the book to shine in the right light. Do you know what I mean? Because it might have controversial moments in there and stuff, but it's still got a survival ending story as well. That means in the end, after all the trials and tribulations in the book, there is an ending where it shows where I've grown and gone on to do other things and inspire others. So I think overall, I'm quite happy with the book. Apart from the punctuality, there's a few little spelling mistakes. But first book, TV mistakes and that, and you know what I mean. I'm just excited overall.
I'm a spelling person, so when I read it, I saw it, but it didn't take anything away from the story. Definitely did not. Actually, it probably enhanced it, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? But just to say thank you so much, Owen, Element OG, and I'm so blessed to meet you. And as I said, I see big things for you in the future. You know what I mean? Keep going and protect yourself with your property. This is your book. This is your story, and be proud of what you've done. And thank you.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So thank you to everyone for listening to myself, Melanie B, and Element OG. Please look out for his book. It's on Amazon. Through the Eyes of a Child to the Life of a Man. This is the controversial book of 2024. Go out and get your copy. Thank you very much.
Tired and drained. When I look in your eyes, there's pains and life is strained. Your heart is weak. Big winner, but I see your lip quivers when you start to speak, and my heart is deep. But sometimes, just sometimes, I know it's hard to sleep, and I never want you to ever live like fool. Lit and cool as I stick this rule. Knock it just down. It's a touchdown, just proud. You're the top kid at school. Pain when your mum left, and I know at your age it's the wrong stress. So just follow your lane and conquest. Get through, and I'm always with you. God bless pain when your mum left, and I know at your age it's the wrong stress. So just follow your lane and conquest. Get through, and I'm always with you. God bless.